So in this session we will learn about our DHCP server. Okay, so question is like what is DHCP and how it works. So basically a DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and DHCP server automatically assigns an IP address and other information to each host on the network so they can communicate with other endpoints. So here the other information like configuration parameters like uh, DNS or any other server IP address, other information, whichever information is required to communicate, our DHCP server will help to assign those information automatically without assigning IP address manually. So here a DHCP server is a network device that automatically assigns IP addresses and other network configuration parameters to client devices. It uses the dynamic host configuration protocol uh, to manage and distribute these settings, making network administration easier, especially in a larger environments. Okay, so here the key function of DHCP servers like dynamic IP address assignments, like DHCP server assigns IP address to network devices like computers, laptops, smartphones, and all right. So after that, the network configuration in the key functions. The in network configurations, besides IP addresses, DHCP servers also provides other essential network parameters like subnet mask, default gateways, and DNS server addresses and all. So here it's a very simplified management by automating IP addresses assignment and configuration DHCP server that reduce the administrative burden of manually configuring each device on a network, correct? Because we have several devices, right? We have several end devices connected to our network to perform their task, right? So it's too difficult to assign to configure IP addresses manually, right? So with the help of DHCP server, it will reduce the burden of our administrative persons. It will bypass the manual configurations and all, right? So here and again we have a dynamic leases, like a DHCP server maintain a pool of available IP addresses and leases them to device for a specified period. Once the lease expires, the address is returned to the pool for reassignments. Then we have a complete resolutions, like a DHCP server also helps prevent IP addresses conflicts by ensuring each device has a unique IP address. Okay, so here how the DHCP server will work in the sense, our client okay, that's a client, right? We have a client. Let's just assume that this is a host A, right? This is a host A, and this is our DHCP server. So here when a client joins a network, it sends a discover request to the server, okay, to the DHCP server or all the other hosts, whichever hosts are connected in there. It's a broadcast message will be get sent by our uh, client, correct? Once the broadcast message received by our server as discovering the new device connected to the network, then server responds with the offer. That's a DHCP server receives the request, finds an available IP addresses and sends it back to the client. In that offer, we will get all the parameter informations like other IP addresses like DNS server IP address, where subnet mask, default gateway, or the lease time period and all. Those all information will be get attached in the offer message. Then the client configuration, like the client receives the IP address and other configuration parameters from the server, and then you uses them to connect the network, right? Then after that we have a acknowledge. Then our client returns a formal request for the offered IP addresses to the DHCP server in a DHCP request broadcast message. Then the DHCP server confirms that the IP address has been allocated to the client by returning the acknowledge message. That's a unicast message will be get sent by our DHCP servers to the client, right? So here the formal request for the offered IP address, that's a DHCP request message that is sent by the client is a broadcast, so that all the DHCP servers that received the DHCP discover broadcast message from the client can reclaim the IP addresses that they have offered to the client. Okay, this is how our actual DHCP server will work. So let's we simulate by using our packet tracer simulation tool. So here we have opened the packet tracer. In that packet tracer you can find, I will take a new one. So we will, okay, so here we will take few of the network devices. Okay, few of the network devices, in the sense we will take a n device first. In that n device we will take a PC. Okay, and after that we will take one of the network device like a switch. We have taken switch, and after that we required a DHCP server. Now for the DHCP server we will find a DHCP server here, then we will take that server. Then with the help of cables like a straight through cable, we will take that cable, and we will one of the end of that cable we will insert in the available port of our PC. That's a fast Ethernet port. Then we will connect another end of that cable to our switches available port. Okay, so here we have connected PC and switch successfully. Then again we will take another cable, one more cable. Then we will connect that cables, one of the end to the switch, and another end of that cable we will connect to the available port of our server, right? So here we have just simply configured our server and PC, right? So here we have to assign the IP address to our client, right? That's a DHCP server's basic work. So here simply what will we do means, we will go for the server. Then after that, for server, firstly we have to assign an IP address. For that we have two options to assign IP address, one of the DHCP, another one is the static. So here firstly newly we are introducing the DHCP server, so that's the reason we have to assign an IP address static. So here I will assign one IP address like 192.168.1.1. okay, then after that we have a subnet mask, that's a class C IP address, right? Then we will assign one default gateway. We will define one of the default gateway like 192.168.1.2. okay, then DNS server, just for practice purposes we will take one more random number DHCP server, right? And after that we just select the one of the services, that's a DHCP. Then here we have to turn it on, right? Services, just we turned on. Then after that we have to create here a server pools. Okay, as per the server pool only our DHCP server will assign the or offer some of the IP addresses to newly connected devices in our network. So here I will keep a name for server pool 1. okay, then here I will mention the default gateway like 192.168.1.2. then DNS server I will take an IP address like 8.8. okay, so here I will change the starting IP address range for 50. It means our whenever any client will connect and discover some IP the servers, okay, once it broadcast and all, then DHCP server will send the, he will offer few of the IP addresses, right? Those IP addresses will be get in the range of starting IP address of 50 only, right? So here we will keep a default subnet mask defaultly same. So we will add it. Right now you can see here we have added a server pool here, right, in our DHCP server. So here our server pool 1 key has been successfully created. Now go for our PC. Just I wait for the PC in the PC's desktop, and here we will open the IP configuration. Here instead of using the static we will go for the DHCP, right? So here we have operations like a DORA, right? Those operations like discover, offer, request and acknowledge, we will observe those kind of files over here. Now I went here. Before that I will create open the simulation mode of our packet tracer. In that simulation mode you can see here I will select the DHCP server for IP configuration. I just selected DHCP protocol for IP configuration. Now you can just observe the yellow packet. Okay, we will find so many packets in the network because it's a defaultly it will broadcast the packet. So just turn it on. Now it's turned on. Then it will be get sent, that's a discover message. It means it's a broadcast message to our server. Then suppose you want to open the broadcast message, then just open that packet, go for the inbound PDU details. Here you can find the IP header, all the information about like a source IP, destination IP. Here this is a broadcast packet, so destination address always for the broadcast we will find the 255.255.255.255 only. Okay, don't worry about that. So here this is the transport layer protocol. In the transport layer protocol we are either UDP or TCP, right? So for the TCP or UDP header we will find the source port and destination port. So here you come here, here we found a DHCP server, right? So here you can find all the IP addresses like a client IP, server IP, relay agent address, all the things are all 00 only, right? So here once you find here the client hardware address, it is the MAC address of our PC, newly connected device, correct? Now other information like other parameter information. Now just don't observe this green packet, it's for ERP address resolution protocol, right? That's address resolution protocol for our switch and all. Don't worry about that, just we will focus on our yellow packet. Let's wait for the yellow packet over here. You will get one yellow packet. Now you can see here, firstly we got a discover from our client to server or other host, whichever host are connected in that network. Then after that that discover packet has received by our server, right, DHCP server. Then he is requesting few of the he is offering few of the IP addresses and other parameter information parameters, right? So to the client, now just you open this packet, go for endpoint, go for the DHCP server. You can find here our DHCP server has offered for one of the IP address like a 192.168.1.2, right? This is the server's IP address defaultly. Then along with that you can find here a domain name server. That's one of the parameter configuration we kept in that server pool, right? So it's offering some services, right? It is offering some IP addresses as per the pool. Then again run it and just keep observing the things. It offered now our client requesting one of the IP address. That IP address is like 1.2, right? It requested. Now our DHCP server will acknowledge with the assigned IP address, right? Now just turn it on. Now just see here, you can observe here also. Now you will, once the packet reach the client, you will get IP address here. That's a acknowledged packet received to our client. We will just got assigned one IP address from our DHCP server. So in this way our DHCP server will help to assign IP addresses automatically within our network. So basically here we will use the DHCP server to overcome the burden of our administrative person, because every time when they find new device or when they wants to connect a new device in their network, then again they have to assign IP addresses manually. So DHCP server will overcome that burden. Okay, so this is all about our DHCP server. Thank you.